in the year 711, an empire collapsed. The powerful Visigothic kingdom of Iberia was crushed at Guadalete by the armies of the Umayyad Caliphate. In just a few years, almost the entire peninsula fell under Muslim control. For many, it seemed like the end of a civilization, but it was only the beginning of one of the longest wars in history, the Reconquista. High in the northern mountains, small bands refused to surrender. In 722, a nobleman named Pelagius led his warriors at Covadonga. Against overwhelming odds, they defeated a Muslim army. It was more than a battle, it was a symbol. From that moment, the Kingdom of Asturias was born, and with it, the spark of the Reconquista. In the centuries that followed, Christian kingdoms rose and grew. Leon, Navarra, Castile, Aragon, and later Portugal. They were not always allies. Rivalries, civil wars, and dynastic struggles often divided them. Yet, in the face of a common enemy, fragile alliances were forged. Each victory was not just military, it was cultural and social. Towns gained autonomy, peasants found unusual freedoms, and new identities began to form. In the 11th century, a legendary figure emerged, Rodrigo Diaz de Bibar, known as El Cid, sometimes a loyal knight of Castile, sometimes a mercenary. His courage and skill made him both feared and respected by Muslims and Christians alike. In 1085, the Christian armies captured Toledo, the old Visigothic capital. It was more than territory, it was a cultural and spiritual triumph. But the Reconquista was never a straight march forward. Soon, new invaders crossed from North Africa, the Almoravids, and later the Almohads. Fierce, disciplined, and zealous, they revived Muslim resistance and pushed the Christians to the brink. The fate of Iberia was decided in 1212 at the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa. For the first time in centuries, Christian kings united in a massive coalition. Castile, Aragon, Navarra, and even warriors from Portugal marched together. That day, they faced the might of the Almohad Caliphate. And against all expectations, they triumphed. The Muslim armies were shattered. It was the great turning point of the Reconquista. After Las Navas, the Christian advance accelerated. Andalusia fell, one stronghold after another. Only Granada remained, the last Muslim kingdom in Iberia. Meanwhile, Portugal followed its own path, completing its Reconquista in 1249 with the capture of the Algarve Castile and Aragon consolidated power, setting the stage for a united crown. In the late 15th century, the marriage of Isabella of Castile and Ferdinand of Aragon forged a powerful union. Together, they resolved to finish what had begun at Covadonga more than 700 years earlier. In 1492, after months of siege, Granada surrendered. The Catholic Monarchs entered the city in triumph. The Reconquista had come to an end. The Reconquista was more than war. It shaped Iberian kingdoms, forged new identities, and strengthened monarchies. And in that same year, minus 1492, Isabella financed Christopher Columbus. The fall of Granada and the dawn of the Age of Exploration were bound together. The end of the Reconquista opened the gates to a new global era. The Reconquista, 8 centuries of struggle, kings and heroes, a war that began with a handful of mountain warriors and ended with the unification of crowns that would change the course of the world. The story of Iberia is the story of perseverance, faith, and human ambition.